Hello and welcome to Mondo Street Presents. Dan's got the corpses already. This is the 15th take of trying to get this right. Tonight we are going to talk about actors who surprised us with performances. That might be that we never thought they had it in them, or we thought they were over the hill. Uh, Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, Philip. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We didn't lean in.
We didn't lean in. I was just going to say, for
First
the
time
first time ever.
ever.
Jinx!
Yeah, that's because I'm pushing myself back a my chair. Don't move.
Me too.
Podcast etiquette. Push yourself back in the chair. Push back, I said. That reminds you of boarding school, that doesn't it? Oh, dear me. We have deteriorated already. We've gone there immediately. So, actors that surprised us with performances, so that we didn't think they had it in him, or we thought they were over the hill. Um, I'd like to start off with a rather obvious one. Um, but I think I saw this one coming. Uh, uh, see, it's like two immature morons trying to have a sensible conversation. I'd like to nominate Colin Farrell first. Um,
Okay.
I think we saw this. I think we saw his acting ability ascendancy. That's another way of saying it. With In Bruges, then the Banshees of Inisherin, and now
Hmm.
the Penguin. He is knocking it out of the park. He really is. He's I just if you look back at Total Recall, that awful remake he did, or what else is in it? He was in Minority Report. You look at some of his earlier stuff, and he's just another young
Hmm.
Irish actor, and you just think there's not a lot there. But the Penguin is phenomenal.
I watch it and forget it's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I think like when we talked about it, I still
Mm.
catches the mannerisms around his eyes.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but he completely disappears into that
Yeah,
suit, into the character. And I think that he should be top of the tree when we think about acting performances for this year.
completely. If he doesn't get an award for the Penguin, there's something wrong with the whole system. I wonder if, well, he's obviously got a better agent now, who's getting him the right roles or getting in front of the
Yeah, well
people
look at
that
Sugar on Apple
yeah,
TV. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. He was
yeah,
great in that, perfect casting.
yeah.
But also, I think I would like to see, or understand if there's a timeline change of when he became sober, whether that
Yeah,
improved his acting ability and made him, not made him, but clarity informed his decisions better, shall we say?
sure, sure. And you can see that with musicians sometimes when
Yeah.
they go clean. Not only does their whole style of music change, but the ethos, the themes that they use in the
Mm.
music changes as well.
Yeah.
That could actually be something. In Bruges is what? How old's In Bruges now?
Oh
Christ,
gosh, don't
15
don't
years old, something like that.
probably a little more.
More than that. So he's had that arc from
Mm.
there, but he has done some questionable stuff in between. So I think he's an actor that feeds off the right character and the right script.
Yeah, and I think it would be the same with any actor is that you need to put bread, you need to make money, you need to put food on
Mm,
the table. So there will be jobbing
mm,
acting roles, and there are those that you take because it's an excellent script, great
mm,
director, great cast.
mm,
So I think at his level now, especially with the Penguin and that move to TV, which most film actors are doing,
yeah.
I wonder if that's opening it up more to him and whether he
Mm.
can now cherry pick the right roles. So it'd be interesting to see what happens when a next cinematic
Yeah,
release with
because
Colin
obviously
Farrell comes in.
uh, yeah, Sugar's got a second series, and I'm sure he'll be in the Batman 2
Mm.
and whatever happens with the Penguin. Um, but yeah, I think he's a worthy first nominee. So how about
Mm.
yourself? Is there anybody that stands out for you this year?
I'm going to take the face right off. Has to be Nick Cage.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in Slinky Legs, as I still refer to it, and even Google searched Slinky Legs earlier. But
I
his
hope you had
performance,
safe search on when you did that.
I did indeed. His performance in Long Legs was exceptional. He's
Yeah.
not in it that much
Mm,
for sort of a lead protagonist, but when he is on it, scene stealing. That
yeah.
I mean, you could argue that maybe it's a bit chewing the scenery because he's so overplayed, but it works. He
Yeah.
just played that role to perfection, in my view.
Yeah. Yeah.
It. I couldn't see another actor being able to do that level of lunacy
Mm.
to
It,
that
it's
level.
it's interesting with Nick Cage because when you see him in a film, you always expect you're going to get a big performance.
Yeah.
And sometimes those performances are completely unhinged, they're wacky. They can actually detract from the film.
Mm.
But with Long Legs, he was completely detached from reality. And even when he wasn't on the screen, he was still on the screen, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
The
As that character that was dominated throughout because that
oh
was the key presence throughout the
yeah,
film. It
yeah.
which gave it the unease is that
Mm.
he wasn't there, but you knew he was there.
Yeah, because
But those
he's like
parts,
an actor that was always turned up to 10.
yeah,
But for Long Legs, he went, Spinal Tap and went to 11.
I don't even know if he did. I think he kept it maintained at 10.
Mm,
I think there's still room for Cage to go completely psycho.
Jesus.
But I think with that, he played it to the line. He played it
Yeah,
right up to it, skirted slightly over, but pulled it back. I mean, that
yeah.
scene with him in the car where he does the
Mm.
whole "mummy,"
Money!
that was terrifying
Yeah, it was.
because it was so unnatural.
Yeah,
But the other scene that did it for me was the one when he goes into the hardware shop
yeah,
and gets all the stuff with the girl behind the
yeah,
camera, behind the counter. I thought that really, excuse me, that really unnerved me because it was
yeah,
on the point. The way he plays it was on the point of he could just go at any moment, and you're on that tension that he's
yeah,
about to go, but doesn't. Yeah, I thought he played that so well,
yeah.
and it just made me see him as a. I don't want to say as a proper actor, but I'm going to because some of the roles he's taken, like Face Off, was that was 11. That in fact that went he double digited up to 22 on that one. It was just so over
Yeah,
the top. It was a bit clown like. But with Long Legs, he just played it right up to the line of where it should be with enough reserve. And that reserve is
yeah.
what gave that acting gig the
Mm,
frightening elements that it did. And for that, I think he's opened up a new level of acting in his
yeah.
oeuvre.
Ouvra. Imagine Long Legs saying Ouvra. Ouvra! Um,
Oeuvre!
I, I'd like to bring up an actor who many think is over the hill or past his sell-by date. Sean Penn. Now, I've
Really?
always, you might not have seen the film, so let me tell you about the film and then go away and watch it. And then, I've always been a fan of Sean Penn. There's something about him. If you think about Mystic River, um, his performance in that is it's just sublime. It's a beautiful performance of rage, of sorrow. But the film, it's got two different names, but here in the UK, it's called Black Flies,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on Amazon, and it's the story of a haggard, long-serving paramedic bringing a new paramedic in on a
Yes, yeah,
street
I've
in New
seen the
York,
trailers for this. Yeah.
Harlem, Queens, and all that. It's a very, 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 very bleak film, and it has a very, very bleak ending, middle, and all that. There's no laughs in the film. There's no joy to be had in the film. Well, there might be some joy, but not in a way that we would go, oh, that was lovely. Nearly went Jimmy Savile, and Jesus, careful. I think. I think his performance in it is amazing. Why are you laughing? Because I nearly went, no, then Joe Ray, Joe Ray. His performance is phenomenal. And I think that because it disappeared straight onto Amazon Prime, I think it's one of those films that is overlooked and deserves another
Mhm.
chance. But yes, that's me, Sean Penn. I thought he wouldn't get any other roles where he could truly embody it,
Mm.
because he's done some dogs. He's done some
Mm.
rock. Well, let's not mention Madonna, but he's done some. Told you I've had a hard day in work. I'm feeling a bit frisky. Um, The Assassin that he did wasn't a terribly good film.
Mm.
So that's mine, Sean Penn. So another actor I'd like to highlight is Demi Moore,
Oh, because you've watched her in the
The
thingy bobbly
Substance.
doodly, what's it? Yeah.
Okay. I challenge anybody, okay, and you know a lot about film, and so do I. I challenge anybody to say, I watched a film with Demi Moore in it and she was really good. Okay. Until you watch this film. She is insanely good in this film. She is.
Is she
She carries the film.
really?
Oh, it's great. It's a good film, but she is brilliant in it. She is absolutely brilliant. I think it's Oscar nomination worthy.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I think if she's not in there, come February, I think there's something wrong.
Oh, we
It'll
all
be
know there's
Michelle
going to
Yeoh
be
again, won't it, for Everything
everything,
Everywhere All at
every all
Once.
at once in the Matrix.
Yeah. But Demi Moore, she's playing this fading star that has gone from, movies to TV to keep fit, that Jane
Mm.
Fonda parallel,
Mm.
um, who is offered this opportunity to use this black market drug called a substance, which creates a younger, better, perfect version of yourself in duplicate.
Mm.
But you can only be one or the
One
other
or
for
the
seven
other.
days in total. So you can be one for 7 days, then you have to be the other one for 7 days, and
Mm.
there can only ever be one. It's great.
All right, Highlander.
Yeah, the end of it is I don't know if you've read any H.P. Lovecraft in his
Yes.
student days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The end of the substance is like H.P. Lovecraft's wet dream. It
Good Lord.
is it is completely unhinged and bonkers, and only for those of strong stomachs.
Oh God, I think I can understand where that's going then.
Don't be too sure about that. Yeah. So Demi Moore, I think she was just brilliant. She was outstanding this year.
Right. I'm going to do a couple now that
Are
have
you
just
now?
sprung to mind. Yes, I am. They're lucky couple. Um,
They've just sprung to mind. Thank you, Google.
no, no, I haven't Googled them. No, I want to do.
I used Ask Jeeves instead.
What happened to us, Jeeves?
I don't know. Why
I
didn't you
don't know.
Google? Why didn't you Google what happened to Ask Jeeves?
I want to go one. It's coming to my mind because we discussed it slightly the other day, which is a posthumous one. Is that an actor that changed course slightly towards the end of his life?
Hmm.
Robin Williams.
That was going to be my next one.
Dagnammit.
That's
Be-
perfect choice.
because the comedic actor, fantastic.
Yep.
Improv, fantastic.
Yep.
And Mrs. Doubtfire, frankly, is one of the greatest films of all time. Don't
Oh,
care. It's
it was
absolutely
a
brilliant.
drive-by fruiting.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Um, but Insomnia, okay, we saw a different side,
Yeah,
and he
and you know how
acted
I
with.
feel about
I,
insomnia.
yeah, I know. And to be honest, I feel a little bit like that as well. I bought it
Yeah.
on a Region 1 back in the day. Back in there,
Back
when you
in
used
the
to have to buy DVDs from Player.com.
Play.com. Gee, it's a good job they're not still in, or if they were still in business, they could sponsor us. We keep
I
mentioning
know.
them.
We keep mentioning them. They were
Yeah. Hey,
fantastic.
Play.com if you're still out there. We're cheap. Well, he
So
is.
yeah, yeah, you're Phil Big Money.
I only accept notes. Thank you very much.
But his work in 1 hour photo
Oh,
is one of the most underrated and undervalued performances
and overlooked.
and overlooked performances
Yeah.
of all time.
Oh,
He was superb. For a comedic actor to sort of walk into that kind of unhinged role, but play it so perfectly,
oh,
so straight,
yeah.
and at moments when he lost it, it just snapped. And you saw a completely different side, but you saw a
Yeah.
very damaged individual there
Yeah. Yeah.
because his character is a very damaged character.
Yeah. Great film. Great film.
But yeah, that's someone that had a complete turnaround towards the end of their
Mm,
career and played straight, which is why I'm quite looking forward to
mm.
the upcoming Billy Crystal Apple TV Plus series that's coming out, where
Yeah.
it looks like he's gone and done a very similar change in tact.
We'll see. We will reserve judgment on that. I think the thing that one of the takeaways from 1 Hour Photo that I had is that there are times of stillness in his performance
Mm-hmm.
where he actually outlectors Anthony Hopkins.
Totally,
That that that
absolutely well put,
that
well put.
that doing nothing but exuding 1,000 words,
Yeah.
and I think that he was so it was brave casting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a brave choice of him at that point in his career.
Mm. Oh, completely.
Because everybody wanted Mork and Mindy 7 or Mrs. Doubtfire 3 or Popeye 2. But he was a man that knew darkness.
Mm.
And he's just is it a truly great film? Possibly not. Yeah. But his performance is fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And the way he conducted the character when he was in the photo behind the counter there and everything, and the way it just so reserved and
Mm.
downplayed,
Yeah.
and the moment he lost it in parts was just wow. You go from 0 to 1,000 in the blink of
Yeah.
an eye, straight back down to completely vulnerable and a very scared and damaged individual.
Yeah. Great film.
But he's superb. But to segue into my next one,
Mhm.
bear with me for this one
Okay,
because it
that's always a bit of a warning point. That
yeah, it is.
the
It
red
is.
flag, isn't it? When you go, bear with me, it's going to be shit at the start,
it,
and it might be a bit bumpy, and it might get scary, but we will get there.
I don't know if we're going to get there, but I'm going with a duo here. That's why I ask you to bear with me
Why do you always twist the rules?
because rules are there to be broken.
Why are you the way you are? Go on, it's a duo.
Yes.
Oh God, Cheech and Chong.
No.
Harold and Kumar. If you
Get the
say
colostomy bag.
if you say Ben Affleck and Matt Damon,
Matt Damon.
we're done. Okay.
No,
Go on, your
it's not
duo.
though.
Are they
They
known for working together as a duo?
on and off.
So Batman and Robin.
No,
No, Salt and Vinegar.
no. Prawn and cocktail.
Broken Home and Prostitution. You can't crack your joke you said earlier, can you?
No, no. I've got there in the end. Right, bringing it back.
Yeah.
This is a duo. They are known for being together in films in probably what we're talking
Cannonball.
80s. So
The Boys in Blue, too.
Cannibal Run 58.
The Shuckle Brothers.
To me, to you.
Yeah. To you, to me.
Is Steve Martin and Martin Short. I am a big fan of the Greaties. I adore the Three Amigos, and for those two specifically,
Yeah, yeah,
we forget about Chevy Chase. Lots of people do, and wish they
yeah.
could if they.
What, Mr. Miserable Bastard?
But I know Martin Short gets a quite a heavy bad rap in some circles because he's so out there and he's so outlandish and he is a
Yeah.
bit kitsch, but I like that kind of thing.
Mm.
Steve Martin, huge fan of.
Oh yeah.
He's just absolutely superb
Yeah.
at most things he touches. But the Martin Short Renaissance, a la Murders in the Building, only Murders in the Building,
Yeah.
is exceptional because I think they are both at the peak of their game. I would say at the moment, Steve Martin, that he's come up with this, he's produced it, and
Yeah.
I think there are elements in those episodes, and particularly there was one episode where there was no dialogue,
Yeah.
and I thought their acting throughout was superb. It was another, it really was to me another level.
Yeah.
But I think for two actors that are known for their comedic output, it's in there, but they can also straight face as well.
Yeah.
So I think a time of they're having the time of their lives.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
trying
real Marmite one. This I know.
I'm trying to go along with you on that journey to that one. And comedically, they are both extremely talented. I don't think Only Murders in the Building hangs off their acting ability. I think it hangs off some incredibly good writing.
Incredibly good writing, excellent direction.
Yeah,
The consistency of it is exceptional.
yeah.
I mean, they're
Because
in their fourth
it's
season
it's
now.
not atypical Steve Martin, is it? There's no true goofiness.
No,
But then he isn't taking the character to an extreme, which is away from being funny. So he's
no,
not
he's
doing a
not.
Robin Williams. He's kind of somewhere in the middle.
But in that, I think is great acting. Is that
Yeah,
they know when to rein it in because some of the serious moments in that you can
yeah,
tell that there's real serious acting going on, and
yeah.
there are the shtick bits, and the Martin Short is full of beans, shall we say? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
he
yeah,
is
yeah,
off the scale at times,
yeah,
but I think the range, darling, the
yeah. The
range that they
range.
have
Yeah,
is
from the theater.
yeah from the theatre, and all I can say is Steve Martin singing. Which of the pick, which of it did it?
Oh, that was fantastic. That was
I don't know how he did that because it's not an easy one to sing. I
yeah,
think
yeah. I would agree.
exceptionally good.
I would agree. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Which of the
Um,
pick, which of it did?
yeah, let's keep him in then. An actor who I don't know, I'd like to throw James McAvoy in there.
Oh, really? Go on.
See, this is why
State your case.
he's a
Approach the bench.
he's a bit of a Marmite one as well.
Yeah.
I watched Speak No Evil the other night, and he's really good in it. But I don't even know if this belongs in this episode. He's really good in it within some really constrained limits. He's either nice guy or nutty guy.
Mm.
You know, I think if we'd had this episode 10 years ago, I think I would have gone James McAvoy. I can't remember the name of the film he did about
Split.
no, about the quiz show where he was cheating on the quiz show. I can't remember what
Oh gosh, yeah. 10. Start of a 10.
starts with 10. So he's done some stuff like that, and he didn't do Shallow Grave. That was Ewan McGregor. He's done some films which
It's a fine line. It's a
kind of
fine line.
okay, yeah. Um, but then he did Split, and he is masterful in Split. That to me is his best performance. I don't think he'll
Oh
ever
god, yeah.
I
I
don't think he'll ever
completely
better
agree.
that performance. So if we'd had this conversation 10 years ago, James McAvoy would have been thrown in for
Yeah.
that moment in his career. I don't think he's been given the material since to even try and challenge it. So with Speak No Evil, his character is sometimes nice, sometimes not. So the director's obviously gone. Remember when you made that film Split?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Remember the
don't you
scene
want
where
to
you were okay? Yeah.
we don't want you to be as hench as that, but
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
could bring Patricia along, that would be great.
yeah. And then just to round that section off of going back in time, Bruce Willis for
Oh,
Unbreakable.
damn it! Damn it! Damn you to hell!
You stole my Robin Williams, mate. You stole my Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
Oh,
I think Unbreakable is M. Night Shyamalan's best film.
I think he was elephant in the room. Sixth Sense was the film that changed his career
Oh yeah,
and the view of him as an actor
yeah,
because he, big hero. Come away, have some laughs, have some fun. You know,
and
it
some really bad films as well.
and some very
The
bad
Color of
films.
Night. If you've ever desperate to waste some time and you've got access to really old crap 80s films or 90s, The Color of Night, where he played a psychiatrist. Holy God, it's bad. But then I digress.
Yeah, I think he's found his directorial shaman in Shamalama because
Although we could bring Butch in from Pulp Fiction,
yeah, yeah.
but I don't think Butch as a character or him as an actor plying his trade in the same scale as
No, in Pulp Fiction, he was sort of playing let's face it, a slightly mute version of Bruce Willis,
well,
basically.
it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah,
Nobody should shine.
but in Sixth Sense, I mean, there are elements of his performance that when I saw that film when it came out, I was just it broke me because
Mm,
he was so good. But then when you go and see Unbreakable, his quiet reserve
oh yeah,
in that role is exceptional. But also, that is a brilliantly directed film because
mm,
there are bits of that, like the pool scene, and he goes in the rain and he comes, and the shots of him with the what is meant to be the cape, but is
yeah,
his night watchman outfit, and
yeah,
it's just so beautifully done.
yeah,
But I completely agree with you that that moment going back in that little bubble of time,
yeah.
it's such a shame that he didn't harness that. But again, it could be down to agent. It could also be down to his illness, that he could only take a
I
specific type of role.
yeah,
You just don't know. But it's a shame we didn't get to see more of unbelievable. I was going to say unbreakable Willis.
yeah. Which please allow me my 1 minute rant now about the absolute injustice that was Glass. My
Oh,
God, the idea of bringing Mr. Glass with David, with the Beast together in one film was truly exciting. And to put it politely, Shamalama Ding Dong shit the bed. Um, he killed David off by somebody standing on his head in a puddle. Just no.
yeah, but it wasn't water his kryptonite.
Yeah, but you don't kill somebody who is that intrinsic to the whole storyline, just like incidentally, oh, you're dead. It's like you
You
forgot.
see, I don't agree with you there. I think the understated, the underplayed version just made the evil of it even greater.
Blah 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 blah. No,
Is
he
what
was he
Shyamalan
was
did with the producers.
he was the best character in that trilogy arc. Okay, his was the character that had the most interesting opportunities to go away from that. The Beast was just a bad guy. Yeah, loads of personalities, great. Mr. Glass was just a bad guy. Yeah, breaking bones and stuff like that. David was truly a superhero. He was a real life bona fide superhero. And
Mm.
just to dispense with him because they couldn't think of anything else to do with him was silly. I just think that that film is just, it should be scrubbed. It should be Unbreakable and Split, and the third film doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I don't think that film needed to be made,
Yeah.
um, but I
We'll get
didn't hate it.
Yeah, we're getting into territory of our previous episode. What sequel should never have been made?
It's circular.
It is. It is. It's cyclical. It's cyclical. Um, so we'll wrap up now then. So we've just mentioned sequels that should never have been made, and both Dan and myself are huge fans of the film The Joker. Um, for me, I just love the portrayal of the disintegration into of mental health. Thought it was the best presentation of that I've ever seen. Um, so when Joker 2 was announced, I'm not even going to try and attempt the French bit, but when Joker 2 was announced, I think my geek
Colère de.
hormones, yeah, my geek hormones went a little bit crazy. And I think some of the reviews have started to quash those geek hormones. Um, so what we're going to do on next week's episode, Warner Brothers, stand down right now. Um, we're going to watch it together and record our reactions. Obviously, we won't put out a 2.5 hour episode, not unless we react every second. Like, oh my God, that's the best. No, it's not. But we're going to actually watch the film together. Neither of us have seen it. I've been avoiding as much social media and reviews of it as possible. I think Dan's the same. Um, so we will, as two fans of the original film, be watching the second film together and recording our reactions. I just hope it doesn't end in tears.
I'm really worried about this.
So am I. So am I. I've got to be brutally honest that some of the, whilst I've been trying to avoid it, some of the things I have heard have been horrific.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
been dire.
yeah,
I know people that have been to see it and have come out and gone, it's not as bad as you may have read, but, and then this
yeah.
list
Well,
comes out and you're
when
like,
when you
oh,
say it's not as bad, that
yeah,
means yeah,
exactly.
I would automatically say, well, it's worse. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
yeah. Todd Phillips as a director hasn't had any missteps before that I'm aware of. He's been quite consistent in churn outs. You could argue Hangover 3 wasn't that good. Um, but I am worried about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this, from what I've read, was the film that he wanted to make either. So,
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll give you our
and
reactions to it.
I've read that Warner Brothers is something like 150 million in the hole for this one,
I
at the
wouldn't.
very least.
Well, if they interfered, they deserve to be in the hole for it.
I according to what I've read, they didn't.
Right.
The makers were given freedom
Carte
without
blanche
carte blanche.
to keep on the French theme.
Carte blanche for
Carte blanche.
les deux.
Isn't that when they force feed geese?
That's foie gras.
Voilà. Où est la bibliothèque?
Où est la piscine? I beg your pardon?
Chicken! No fish, sorry.
Poulet et poisson. Anyway, we digress into
Croissant.
French.
We do, yeah. Yeah, so next week, join us as we watch Joker 2 and have our hopes and memories dashed, or surprise everybody and go, my God, it was a work of genius. So from me, it is fingers crossed, and from him, it is.
Olé à toi.
Why are you like that?
Because I am welcome. Bonsoir, mes amis.
Mes amis.